I must admit, you've surprised me. I thought you were going to take off as soon as you'd gotten something from us. But I was wrong. I want you for a little soiree I'm planning. A business meeting, of a sort at least. It's about an artifact, and our goal is simple. We're going to purchase it. Our seller is a freelance operative in the city of Neon, which means the artifact is almost certainly stolen from someone. I just need a little more presence in the negotiation to show we're serious. And I think you'd be perfect. That settles it then. We just need to make a few stops when we get to the city, and then the drinks will be on me.
I'm sure we have room for you on the ship, Walter. Might be cramped compared to what you're used to, but it'll get you there.
It'll be easy, I promise. I'll ride passenger on your ship until we get to Neon. Just let me know when you're ready to set off. To the Volai star system, then. I admit I'm a little excited. Smell that? Construction, incense, industrial chemicals of every kind. But they still can't get rid of the odor of chasm bass. A native species of fish. I often wonder what would have happened if they'd never found out about the psychotropic effects. I mean, on paper, a rich protein source is far more practical value than a recreational drug. But theory loses out once again to practice. Something to do with chasm bass's natural oils, apparently. If you're curious, the name is Aurora. We need to stop by the Stroud-Ekman offices. There are certain authorization procedures when large funds are being transferred, even for something like this.
See that huge shield? It's part of the power system. Lightning provides us a substantial amount of Neon's energy. Some kind of checkpoint ahead. Let's let them do their job so we can move along.
There's a bounty on you. Get that cleared as soon as possible. That's good for you.
It's a dangerous galaxy, but here
Yeah, astronaut. Not really my cup of tea, as it were, but I'll follow your lead.
So go out. Now is the time to enhance your life.
Don't go causing trouble.
Benjamin Bayou's Tower. It's big, all right. Not sure what else. The Astro Lounge spared no expense with their marketing, huh?
The Syndicate's been pretty bold lately.
That'll work itself out. I'd rather not get mixed up with the Syndicate or gang stuff.
Yeah, Owen told me not to worry about it.
Well, there you go. Business as usual.
Star Yard of the future. This is where quality ships are made. And I don't just say that because it's Stroud's
all right.
business.
I just need to have
It's
a short
just
chat
true.
with my counterpart. Is she in today?
Yes, allow me to bust you in, sir.
Walter,
Issa!
shall we continue from last time? The luxury cruise line market is completely outside of our core competencies. Investing into it is a mistake.
No, I'm here about... Wait a minute, a mistake. Our ship designers are the best in the settled systems.
They design personal craft and military ships, Walter. Large-scale accommodations and hospitality is a completely different beast. Oh, I'm so sorry. Here I am arguing with my partner, and you're just standing right here. Issa Eklund, the hyphenated Eklund in our glorious company's branding. Co-CEO, heir to the Eklund fortune, and somewhere down there I'm his wife, yes.
Didn't know our marriage was such a low priority.
Oh, it jumps up the list at the right moments. Ah, yes, the daring explorers my partner is so infatuated with. You should hear him reciting that speech.
There's no need to go into that.
Oh, my heart skips a beat when he does it. Really, it does. Such passion. If he talked to the board that way, I wouldn't need to placate them so much. Who was it again, Walter? The founder of Constellation?
Sebastian Banks, his final address before he disappeared. I merely found a group of like-minded individuals. Just like all of us.
I hope you're planning to get adorable figurines made of us all. Please say yes.
Can we move on?
I know. It's my favorite hobby. Now, why are you here, my dear? The board meeting isn't for a while, and our vacations aren't coming up either.
It's the discretionary fund, Issa. I need all of it.
Ugh. This wouldn't have anything to do with that meeting you've set up at the Astro Lounge, would it?
I never said that. Did you have an agent hack into my files again?
Only after you had one hack into mine. Tell me, can mutual distrust lead to a point where it's actually the same as mutual trust? Oh, just some light sparring, dear. Walter's actually very attentive when it's just the two of us.
When you mix business and family, you learn to compartmentalize.
A remarkably insecure location for a clandestine meeting.
That was the point. Neutral territory in the open.
With no leverage. Oh, you must let me help. It's been too long.
I have this all taken care of.
Some investigation into the seller. What's motivating them? Then, some preliminary casing of the Astral Lounge for security flaws. Give you the advantage if things go wrong.
Bribe a few bouncers, alter the codes on the doors.
Yes, exactly. I hate being selfish, but I would like some time with my husband. We need to go through the fund authorizations anyway.
James Newell is the broker who knows our seller. He'll be able to help you find out more about them. And it shouldn't be hard to find the Astral Lounge. Here, let me at least give you some operation funds since I won't be joining you. Meet me back here. I'm going to be present for the negotiation. I'm not leaving you to the Neon Sharks, I promise.
Get lost. I have a job to do.
Maybe we should set up more posts in the area.
It's time to see yourself through new eyes.
I would have loved to hang around here as a kid.
Now I realize how dangerous that could be.
Have a moment. Say hello to my wife, Rosa. Welcome to Newell's. If you're looking for any specific goods, Rosa and I guarantee we'll beat Sieghart's lousy selection every time. Rosa Newell is my wife. We own this place together. Sieghart's Outfitters? Oh, come on. You don't have to pretend you haven't been to his poor excuse for a store off of Bayou Plaza. I understand that. But when you're dealing with a snake like Siegert, normal commerce practices go right out the window. That man has absolutely no respect for the business community on Neon. He skips merchant meetings and refuses to participate in any of our group buys. Worst of all, he pays off Neon security to keep his place safe. By standing up to the lowlifes who come in here expecting me to just hand over all of my money, I refuse to be run out of business or be forced to pay protection. A lot of the merchants in Neon belong to a small merchants alliance. It's nothing formal. It's just a bunch of us getting together to air our grievances and watch each other's backs. Yeah, sure, if all you care about is yourself. Every payment Siegert makes validates Neon Security's corruption. He's setting a bad precedent that many merchants are forced to follow. Anyway, sorry. I know I can get a little intense about these things. If you'll forgive the outburst and have a look around, I'm sure you'll find something you might want to buy. I'd say the majority of the guards are rotten, and the few who aren't simply take a paycheck and look the other way. They have Neon completely under their control. The Freestar Collective's own security doesn't even maintain a presence here. If it wasn't for the Freestar Rangers outpost, there wouldn't be a shred of justice in this entire city. I arrived in Neon almost, 20 years ago? I had gotten a job at Xenofresh through a friend and started working on the loading docks. After a few years, they moved me up to Kazanbas processing, and that's where I met Rosa for the first time. She was my supervisor, but we hit it off right away. It wasn't long before we decided to quit Xenofresh, get married, and start our own business. We've been in love ever since.
Hey, Dusty. If you're ever thinking to yourself,
Okay. Yeah.
I could
That'd be extremely helpful.
embarrass Dulce
I honestly don't know what to say.
Then instead of dreaming about me, stop by and say hello, okay?
Yes, of course. On behalf of Rosa and I, thank you. Just be careful when you're dealing with Sigurd. He can be surprisingly unreasonable when he's cornered. The first time I brought up the subject, we got into a huge argument. Sigurd said he had every intention of paying Neon security and that it was final. After that, I tried to speak to him a few times, but he's always been too busy to spend the time to sit down and have a decent conversation. It's obvious he has no intentions of talking to me anymore. I honestly don't know what I did to make him so angry with me. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. Information isn't usually free. I don't usually package pieces of intel, but maybe I could. Okay. I don't know much, but I did have one of my freelancers tail the seller back to his place. Sleep Crate 1. Let me write down the unit for you.
I just wanted to say thanks for the daring rescue back there. I had plans for Matsura, of course, but I appreciate the backup.
James, you have to let it go.
Let it go?
You know, that Crimson Fleet pirate who held me captive for a bit a while ago. I just appreciated how you rescued me, that's all.
It's ridiculous.
It's the way things are, James. There's nothing we can do about it.
I would have given them an exhaustive series of lectures on aneutronic fusion until they were either delirious or they became my new students, obviously. It's good to be part of a team, isn't it? To be part of something so much bigger than any one of us. So many things can go wrong out there. Working with people you can trust is important. That's why I've been in Constellation so long. It's good to have people who will help out when you're in a jam. Exactly as often as I need to. Jams are just sticky successes, right? At first it seems annoying, but it eventually washes off. Just wait till we get matching shirts and start having official cookie days. Sounds amazing, right? Reminds me of a time when I got stranded on a ship carrying tons of frozen foods when its engine and gravity system died in the middle of nowhere. The captain allowed everybody to eat only the cookies since the meats were so expensive. But with no gravity, the cookies baked into weird little spheres. So naturally, we floated around eating cookie globs for days. I'd say we gained quite a lot of weight. But as we were in space, we actually did not. They're one of humanity's greatest achievements. Modern medicine, space travel, and cookies. Constellation is quite pro-cookie. Because, you see, we value human accomplishments. Speaking of which, I'm glad you joined Constellation. A long time. We should talk about it someday. I'd need to get some tea going for that chat, though. Just figured I'd mention it, since we haven't had much time to chat before. You know, being a member of Constellation has given me a lot of opportunities, and a fair bit of stress, I'll admit. It's hard to imagine just who I'd be had I never joined up. I would have never done so many things, met so many people. It's mind-boggling how different I would be. And I never would have met Irvin. Or lost him, I suppose. Irvin Madani was my husband. He was also a brilliant biologist who joined Constellation a couple of years before me. Yeah, he's gone now. I remember his bright smiles when I returned from my trips. Wow, more brilliant than any star. It's not you, Captain. It's just been on my mind. I can't say why. Irvin's been gone for over 20 years. Strange how memories can pop up when you least expect it. Oh, I've been giving myself nothing but space and time for years. But maybe it's time for me to really think about it. Well, maybe I'll take you up on that offer later on, Captain. I need some time to think about things. On that note, I think I'd do well to distract myself with a little adventure for a bit.
Now, James, I don't want you to get upset.
Oh, yeah. Boost packs. Got those too. Just don't even bother with that other place. Newell's Goods. We have everything you...
Yeah. I know this place stinks.
Are you ready to feel?
I did it.
So you can do your banking your own way. For you.
Few institutions have endured as well.
Pick up with me.
Anywhere in the galaxy. Terra Brew. Enjoy a cup. Right now.
What I don't sell, that's all.
Always a pleasure watching you work.
If you're wondering what that smell is,
aren't you? Name's Boone Morgan, your new best friend on Neon. If you're here for a drink or listen to the music, I've got you covered. But if you're here for something a little more exciting, we have plenty of Aurora for sale. Not at the Astral Lounge, my friend. In fact, this is the only place authorized to sell Aurora by order of Administrator Bayou himself. And once you buy it, you can use it anywhere in the Neon that you'd like. Well, except the spaceport, of course. Oh, we have plenty of that. But why not try something different? New planet, new city, new experiences. It's what life's all about. Here, we'll take a look at the menu. Now, I'm not going to lie. The Aurora is a bit expensive, but let's face it. Can you really put a price on pleasure? Pretty amazing, isn't it? That's Borealis, only 19 years old, and yet she produces some of the most heart-pounding, trippiest electronic music you've ever heard. I don't know where she gets her inspiration, but I'm betting all that free Aurora she gets has something to do with it. That depends on if you're hungry or thirsty. Alright, well, I've got a couple of specialties of the house you might be interested in. First, there's our best seller, Sangria Astral, which is a curiously refreshing, fruit-infused red wine served in a commemorative bottle. But if your palate is a bit more refined, we have our Bayou Private Reserve, a painstakingly distilled cognac stored in the purest Arcturan crystal. That enough? Or are you hungry as well? Of course, of course. The Astral Lounge is one of the safest places in all of Neon. Security is hand-picked from the finest officers in the city. Private meetings are usually held in the floor above. Just use the elevators. I'm afraid that would be a serious fire hazard. And I think it's only fair to warn you that the network security on our doors is state-of-the-art. Then I would say you'd be interested in the Astro Lounge VIP package. For a reasonable fee, our security can be your security. We do strive for setting the most reasonable rate. Yeah, I'm sorry, but promises make for poor currency. Not currently, I'm afraid, unless you'd like to purchase it on their behalf. Mr. Stroud is coming to the Astral Lounge. Now that is interesting. Well, I think we can certainly offer a discounted rate for you, if you were still interested. Excellent. Let me just apply that discount we discussed, and done. We do hope your meeting goes to your satisfaction. Oh, Ben and I are good friends. He personally gave me the job here at the Astral Lounge. Oh, he's a good man. Cares a lot about the citizens of Neon, making sure they're all employed and well taken care of. A real humanitarian. Excellent choice. The Sky Suite offers luxury and sophistication you won't find anywhere else in the settled systems. And since you'll be living in the same tower as the Astral Lounge, all of its pleasures and pageantry are only an elevator away. Of course, the Sky Suite features an open design with an emphasis on luxury. Whether you prefer the morning sky or a neon sunrise, the high ceilings and wall-sized windows will give you a full view of the city's splendor. Enjoy the lounge. Hello.
No funny stuff with that boost pack. Got enough flight traffic as it is.
I know you can bypass this system's security.
still so tense. Normally, once we're alone, your shoulders relax. They're taut.
We're on to something remarkable. Maybe what I've always dreamed of.
I can tell. I can see your mind racing.
I haven't even stopped to ask you how you're doing.
I'm fine. The board complains, I assure them. There's the occasional assassination attempt.
So, you don't need anything from me then?
I don't.
Am I just some useless stargazer? You would have been better off marrying a Hope or a Tayo, someone who could be with you at every meeting.
Oh, don't go on about that again. Needing you isn't the same as wanting you. And I'd much rather want my partner than need them. Less complicated.
I know Constellation seems to take up so much of my time. But I never stop thinking of you. Wondering what maneuvering you're doing to take over the company and drive me out.
It's how I show my love.
Is everything ready? Excellent. Good work. Let's head to the Astral Lounge. Goodbye, my dear. See you at the next board meeting?
Oh, I'll be keeping an eye on this little operation. Just in case. Good luck, all of you.
Quit staring.
All right, we're here. Now, I don't know what the cellar looks like, but they'll have a security briefcase with them. Larger than normal. Big enough to hold the artifact. We should split up. The code phrase to identify yourself as the buyer is Ramsey and Travers. Are they?
I was really hoping for a message written in invisible ink, but this will have to suffice.
Remember, Ramsey and Travers. We'll meet back near the elevator.
That last drink was stronger than I thought.
That's what you said.
Hi, having fun?
This Aurora stuff is blowing my mind.
What is it? Can't you see I'm busy drinking? Oh, really? I heard you all have a meeting in a few minutes, don't you? In one of those fancy VIP lounges? Speaking of which, I gotta get going myself. Excuse me. Yes?
I just saw our seller walk by. Good job. That's not surprising. This is a deal over stolen property, after all. Anything could go wrong. Now, before we head in there, let me go over the ground rules. He'll ask for twice what we agreed on. That's normal. He'll probably try to walk out. That's normal, too. Don't worry about the amount we actually settle on. The Stroud-Eklund Discretionary Fund is just a chip to you and me. Our goal is to get him to accept that chip in exchange for the artifact. Anything goes as long as it's in our hands, and we're not dead. How does that sound? This'll be fun. I find matching wits with the neon underworld to always be invigorating.
I'm not gonna say this twice. Get the hell away from me.
So you're Stroud. You look different in person.
Our public relations always insists on doing some touch-ups for the official photos. Embarrassing, really.
Your security here going to stand or sit for this little meeting, making me nervous. So polite. Almost makes me forget what planet I'm on.
Am I to assume that briefcase has our item of interest?
Yeah, here it is.
Well, look at that.
One of a kind, and I know you want it.
I have the amount we agreed on.
Things have changed. I want double.
Now how am I supposed to do that?
I don't know, but your security here seems to have some fancy gear. Why don't they chip in? What the? Security!
As you can see, we're in control. Take advantage of our generosity. Take the money.
All right. Okay. It's all yours. Hope I never see any of you people ever again.
We have it. This couldn't have gone better. Well done. Some high-pressure tactics, but we got what we were after. Time to go home. Shall we?
Stop right there. You're in possession of Slayton Aerospace property.
Ah. Slayton must have been the original owner. We don't need to do this. All's fair on Neon. Am I right?
Hand over Mr. Slayton's property. Now. It's my employer's property. That's all I need to know. You gonna make me shoot you? I'm listening. Nobody wants that. Not happening. That's it, we're done.
The mark's mine. Sure, let's do this.
This isn't happening.
God. Whoa, now. Oh, calm down. I can't believe you did that.
Sending our men into the Astral Lounge. Slayton must be serious about getting the artifact back. We better get off the planet quickly.
Your time, so please don't waste mine. Stop by soon.
There's a reason that you're disturbed.
Yes?
Well?
Out with it.
I wouldn't normally bother with idle chatter, but that's such a ridiculous question. I'm going to gift you with a response. I don't own Neon. Neon is the property of Xenofresh Fisheries, of which I just happen to be the CEO and the major majority stakeholder. Now, if you'd care to take a moment to dissect that statement in your tiny little mind, I'm confident you'll discover the answer to your question. Not that it's any of your business, but yes. I'm the administrator of Neon. Actually, there are a lot of perks that come with the job. But do you want to know my favorite? One snap of my finger and people who ask too many questions get thrown off of the upper platform. I love that one. Next time, don't bother me unless it's important.
I know it's hard for you, but just get to it.
Asa, something's gone wrong, hasn't it?
Slayton has put a bounty on your heads. He's greased a few palms. Your ship's been impounded at the spaceport.
There goes our way out. The same way everything works on Neon. Money. It's terrible at keeping secrets. The CEO of Slayton Aerospace. They're a systems manufacturer. Engines, thrusters. Agreed. Have a talk with the man himself.
Slayton Aerospace has offices here in the trade tower. If Nicholas is moving this quickly, he must be there or close by.
Let's head to their lobby, shall we? See if we can make an appointment.
Welcome to Slayton Aerospace. Can I help you? I'm afraid Mr. Slayton is a very busy man. Ah, there does seem to be a hole in his schedule. Nice try, but CEOs don't just walk through the door. They make appointments. That doesn't sound like something Slayton Aerospace would have the legal authority to do, does it? I'm afraid we just can't book any more appointments today. Goodbye. Welcome to Slayton Aerospace. I'm afraid we aren't taking appointments right now.
You have a question, you can chat with the receptionist all you want.
Wait. This clearly isn't the executive level. He's on to us.
Walter, taking what's mine and then breaking into my office. A bold move, but one easily countered.
Oh, we're trapped.
Hello, Walter, dear, are you there?
Issa?
Took longer than I'd like, but I managed to pay off one of Slayton's security consultants. They've patched me in.
All right, we've got her out. Once the door's open, just follow her instructions, okay? I'm aware of the irony of me continuing to say it'll be easy. But it'll be easy.
Doors will open in 3, 2, 1. Slayton's guards and employees are all over. Be careful. Okay. You'll want to use the vent system to slip around unnoticed. There's a cupboard just to the right of the elevator you came in on. That's the elevator you came in on. Jump right across the top of it and keep going to the end. Drop down and follow the conduit all the way to the end, past the fork. There's a vent above you. Just climb up. The room below you is clear. Drop down. Stop. One of the doors leads you right into the open. I'm unlocking a safe route. Opening the door on your right. Go now. Head left, but don't go through the door at the end yet. There's a robot stalking the hall. Wait. It's walking down the hall. Go now, straight across to the door. Keep going all the way to the end.
This is hopeless. Take it. I'm out.
Security is on full alert. No point slipping through unnoticed now. You have to fight your way to the exit. Try to shut down that robot remote. Got it. Just scrambling the protocols. I doubt that'll work again. should take you outside.
You expect us to climb up the trade tower?
There's a series of catwalks leading directly up one floor to the executive level.
Well, I guess after you.
You're coming in just behind the executive elevators. I'll call the one on the far end, and you can walk right over the top.
You know, it's moments like this that really makes Neon the best place to do business. You steal what's mine. I trap you in the city. You infiltrate my office. I lock it down. Where else can you match wits for the highest stakes but here? You have what's mine. I, indirectly, have what's yours. We are at a stalemate. Although, I do count a few more guns on my side. I do admit, having the co-CEO of Stroud Eklund in my office is quite the opportunity.
How are your quarterlies looking, Nicholas? Perhaps we can add Slayton Aerospace to our supply chain, provided this unpleasantness was behind us.
Yes, I think that could be a most beneficial exchange. There is just the small matter of paying for the humiliation. Mr. Musgrove, my former employee, and the thief responsible for our serendipitous meeting, was caught prior to your arrival. I think it would cement our new partnership if you were to decide on his sentence yourselves. If that is your decision, you need only tell him yourself, and then we will handle the rest. My security brought Musgrove to my office. I'm sure seeing you again will be a fine conclusion to your previous business.
Just let him go. No sense in more violence. We have an opportunity to spare a man's life. I know he probably...
Oh no. You. Slayton really does have a sick sense of humor. "10 years working in aerospace engineering, and they laid me off. You damn right I stole that thing. They tell you if you have talent and commitment, you can go far. But the truth is, it's all about who steals the most and gets away with it. Slayton took it all. Probably in one of his secure accounts somewhere.
I'll settle up with him later. Arbitration, lawyers, all that nonsense.
Please, I was just trying to sell a product, okay? Isn't that why we're all here?
Be lenient. We were taking advantage of his initiative, after all, even if we have found ourselves working with the man he stole from.
Thank you.
A rare moment of compassion for this city. Very well. I'll clear things up with the authorities. You're free to go.
Time to go. Let's talk more back at the ship.
I got them. What do you call them? Horns?
Here at Enhance. So come out, have your fun, live your best life.
Full range of personal treatment products.
Just one quiet day. Not much to ask for.
Good day, Captain. A deal with a man who wanted us dead. I guess we can call that a win. What do you think? Thank you. I guess. Some people call Issa a jewel, but she's more than that to me. I can't really describe it. There's a me, and her, and an us. And I wouldn't trade the us for all the credits in Neon. All in all, a great success. Thank you for allowing me to tag along with Constellation's newest star. Yes, I used a pun. Forgive me.
Engines firing. Here we go.
lived to.
Oh, wise and
My
formidable
people have
captain.
killed for this. But I will offer you one chance to hand over the artifact and turn away from this path.
Oh, that's not any type of ship I recognize.
The fact that you do not know says much. We are the Starborn, and you are unworthy to possess the artifacts.
Tell us, please. What are the artifacts? What are they for? Did you make them? What gives you more right to them than humanity?
Answering your questions is exactly what we cannot allow. Abandon your thirst for knowledge, or drown in it. The more you understand, the more damage you will do.
How could just knowing what you are be dangerous?
Our distance from you is the whole point. We interfere now because we must.
I'm not liking what I'm seeing on the scans. Energy output from that ship is far above the normal range. If we spin up the grav drive now, we have a chance.
drive is... fully repaired.
Craft jump successful, but you just never heard of these star.
Maintain current course while we scan for
Constellation part of my
contraband.
brain is an overdrive. We need to regroup.
And complete.
The launch immediately.
Enjoy your stay
Tell
in
Noel to
good
analyze the data off the ship's sensors. Everyone's going to want to weigh in on this.
How is Neon? Are you okay? No. Okay. I'll start transferring the data over now. Let me just bring it up on here at the table. Is that a prototype? No, that material isn't anything we... What the... Everyone, come take a look at this.
That's no faction vessel or Crimson Fleet. Secret military tech, maybe?
No United Colonies Admiral approved that starship design.
They call themselves the Starborn. Demanded we hand over the artifact. Like we were children, playing with their parents' things.
What do people know? Any offshoot groups go by that name?
Not in any corner of the settled systems I've seen. Maybe a distant human colony finally popping its head up. Another house for them.
I very much doubt that.
We ignoring the obvious here? A heretofore unknown group who just happens to know about the artifacts. I'm just gonna say it. Intelligent alien life, or extra-dimensional beings. The original creators from the furthest fringes of space.
Or beyond even that. Is the metaphor of avenging angels coming down to keep humanity from forbidden knowledge not apt here?
So, we have a lot of theories, but nothing concrete. Except that they're after the artifacts, and they're willing to take them by force.
No settled systems lab made these things, and I doubt one of them made that ship either.
So, we got some weird extra-dimensional beings that coincidentally decide to build their spacefaring vessels exactly like we do. Not so sure about that.
Some glints of shine in the dark. Ready to hand them out as soon as you please.
Ever since I got here, this has felt like
I've got some stuff.
These people are family.
When you have the time.
I hope it feels that way for you too. Before I say anything, I need to clarify that I have no formal medical training. So with that in mind, I think so. I know I said the scans weren't normal, but I would differentiate that from dangerous or concerning. I plan on keeping an eye on you, but you seem to have adapted to the changes. You're feeling okay, right? Okay, well, if I were a doctor, I would absolutely advise against that, for a variety of reasons. But I'll take it as a positive sign for now. For now, just relax. We're all behind you, and we'll take care of you if we need to. And if you wake up in the middle of the night to find me standing over you, taking scans or drawing blood, just take it in stride. I'm kidding, I wouldn't do that. Probably. Okay, let's take a look. Stay safe, okay?
I'd like to talk to you about something. Curious feeling, knowing that you've seen something that no one else has. That you know something no one else does. Not my first time in a hostile negotiation, as you well know. Admittedly, I usually know more about who I'm facing off against. I'm very interested in what Noel can learn from the scans. The technology on that ship was impressive, to say the least. If there's a chance, we could learn enough to duplicate some of it. I got to where I am by taking advantage of opportunities, no matter where I find them. Might as well make the most of this crazy situation. Oh, right. I was afraid you were going to bring that up again. Very well. Let's see if I embarrass myself or not. My colleagues, I venture out into the darkness of space once again. Many of you have expressed concern. At my age, you say, surely the risks are too great. Surely Sebastian Banks has earned a rest. Nonsense, I say. To go out into the unknown, to brave the possibility of never coming back, to ignite the spark of hope that humanity will find answers out there in the stars, that is all I have ever wanted. If this last expedition is my time, then I say, I have been fortunate. I have been fortunate to leave, surrounded by people who could not be more different from one another, but who share a common purpose. That, dare I say, I am fortunate. My soul has a home it can always come back to. And that was the last thing Sebastian Banks ever said in the lodge before he disappeared. And Constellation has been waiting for him to come home ever since. I want you to know I was very impressed with your work back on Neon. There's no fooling you. Don't worry, this is a much lower stake opportunity. My Star Yard's been having a little trouble getting our next project off the ground. I need someone capable and decisive to step in and steer it in the right direction. Interested? Love the enthusiasm. I knew there was a reason I picked you to help with this project. It's a new ship. We want to diversify our fleet. Now, I don't know why the people I pay very handsomely to come up with new designs can't seem to get out of the R&D phase. And frankly, I don't care. I just want someone, you, to go there and show them how it's done. R&D needs to happen first whenever work starts on a new project. It's a natural stalling point since we need to make so many big decisions. In this case, we're talking about looking at our existing fleet of ships and using data we've gathered to see what consumers want. But of course, each member of the R&D team can interpret that data to suit their own confirmation bias. I'm guessing that's what we're seeing here. To be honest, I prefer it. I have professional designers, and obviously they can't do the job. They're floundering. And as I've seen firsthand, you dabble in all spectrums. Blue-collar work, exploration, fighting. I could go on. What better person to tell those overpaid muckety-mucks how to build a ship for the discerning consumer? Excellent. I'll send word ahead to the project lead, Jules Degante, that you're taking point. They'll all be instructed to listen to you and follow your direction. I expect big things from you, so I'm excited to see what you manage to deliver. I don't believe you'll let me down.
Gave up my room in the lodge so Andreja had a place to call her own. Everyone needs space to let their thoughts run solo.
Ah, hello. I look forward to it.